Okay, good morning, everyone. I got the nod, so we're good to go. I would like to call to order special meeting Friday, March 18th, 2022 at 10 a.m. James, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Regular agenda item 2A, information, discussion, action to withdraw Gila County from the Northeastern Arizona Local Workforce Development Area Intergovernmental Agreement effective June 30th, 2022, and to authorize the chairman's signature on the termination notice as per the 100-day termination clause. Mr. Menlove.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Supervisor Klein, and Supervisor Christensen. Thank you for taking the time to meet this morning. I know that each of you are extremely busy, but this is important for us to consider today. We have Navajo County has been designated as the entity that is the fiscal agent for this Workforce Investment Opportunity Act program. Now, WIOA is a program that provides services for people to be employable, for adults, dislocated workers, youth, and a couple of other things. In this program, there's been some issues, some discussions, some things that have come out that now Gila County is not receiving from the WIA program administered elsewhere. That the services we are not getting are sufficient or are adequate of what we expect, should expect, and what we should require as a county to be given to us. Now, as far as I know, Gila County signed an intergovernmental agreement with Navajo County for them to administer this program in our behalf. And as far as I know, Navajo County never did countersign that agreement or execute it on their behalf. Also, that same agreement was given to Apache County, and Apache County did not sign that agreement because there were issues in relation to the agreement. So it is questionable or debatable whether this alliance that we have organized of Apache, Gila, and Navajo counties actually exists. However, Navajo County has been getting the money from the state to administer the program. I haven't seen the most recent numbers, but this is a program that what I saw recently was about $3 million, over $3 million of funding for this program. And that when Gila County joined this group, that about $1 million of that, the budget for Navajo County increased by about $1 million to finance this program. And so that's a significant amount of money, and it's a significant amount of deliverables that we can expect to receive as Gila County for our people that live in Gila County, those that are in greatest need of the things that the service will provide. They provide training, provide education to make people more employable. The program can go and outfit a person in a suit or something like that so that they can go and interview for jobs, give them coaching and job interviews, and to work side by side with businesses to do internships and other things to help those that may not have had opportunities in the past to be given that opportunity to become employable and to have gainful employment that benefits not only that person, but all of us around them. So it is my recommendation, due to the lack of services that the WIA program has not been providing to Gila County, that we wanted to bring this to you for your consideration, that we formally discontinue this, terminate this agreement, the IGA, though I'm not sure it's been fully executed, but to give formal notice to Navajo County WIOA and to the state of Arizona, Arizona at Work, that we are formally terminating this agreement, and we will, as a county, be required to, within 30 days, give a plan of action to the state. I've noticed Kimber Lanning at Arizona First that we intend to do that, and that we will work with her staff to be able to organize and put together the plan. And she acknowledged she's looking forward to let her know what the action of the board today is, and that she's here to help us in any way they possibly can.
Thank you, James. Supervisor Christensen, do you have some input on the subject this morning?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. James, has this program cost the county any money? In other words, are we contributing to this program with our own funds?
Mr. Chairman, Supervisor Christensen, we are not. This is a federal program. Money is channeled through the Arizona Department of Economic Security and then distributed to counties. There is not a match or any local money that's contributed. So it's entirely federal money.
Okay, that's good. So has this IGA, the members of the IGA, been made aware of our concerns that we're not receiving what we should be?
Mr. Chairman, Supervisor Christensen, I have had conversations in the last couple months and even as late as yesterday morning regarding the issues that we are facing, what we feel that the services are lacking, and other issues that we have with the program, and let them know of our intent to have this meeting, have this discussion, potentially terminate the agreement that we have. And so, yes, they have been notified. I have worked with each of the other two county managers to discuss with them, make sure that they were fully aware of what was going on with Gila County and that there was this possibility. I did have a discussion with one of the members of the Board of Supervisors at Navajo County yesterday, let him know what we were doing, and let him know that in no way, shape, or form is this our dissatisfaction with Navajo County and our ability to work with them on different projects. We have many projects that we work with them on with ECO and other things that we fully intend to have them as our partner in other things. Another thing I did, I sent to last night to the other two county managers, Manager Kephart and Manager Patterson in Apache, that we want to preserve our relationship with their counties. And though this IGA obviously hasn't worked for Apache County in that they wouldn't sign the IGA in the first place, and that it's not working for Navajo County, and that apparently Navajo County never executed the agreement as well, that we need to formally disband. And I've sent a request to the other two managers to sit down with them as soon as we possibly can, because the clock is ticking. As soon as we notify Navajo County Workforce Investment Board that we are terminating, that we've got about a month to submit a new plan to Arizona First and the state DES.
Okay, no, that's helpful. Thank you, James. That's all I have.
Supervisor Klein.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, James. So to start with, just so you guys know, is I will be recusing myself on the votes today. So it's gonna be up to you two. The reason being, and for those that don't know, if they're watching on YouTube, is I am the chair on this board and have been, I think it's coming up on second year on this board. The board is made up by a lot, or several individuals throughout the counties, really, really, really good people, every one of them. Their heart's in the right place, and they work hard. My opinion is that when you're looking at a three-way partnership, there's difficulties in that. There's also challenges on the board, just from a knowledge standpoint, on really getting down to the root of what you're supposed to be doing on the board. There's people on our board that are really good and understand that. I'm not one of those. I've struggled with that through the last year and a half, basically, to get rooted on that board to really understand it. And I believe you had a taste of it before me on that board. It's very involved. And so I think, like with anything, if it's not working, I believe it can be regrouped, put back together, and work. One thing I've offered to James prior is the fact that I've never been one to throw in the towel very fast. It's like I've always said, you cross every bridge, you do everything you can first before you really just back out and call it a day and say, no, it just isn't going to work. I've listened to James, and James looking at the services in Gila County and has his thoughts on there. If there's anybody that isn't happy with the way the setup is, whether it's James or whether it's Ryan or whoever, we all have that ability to step up and say, hey, let's fix it. That's where we're at. And I totally support that. I really do. And so, looking at this and looking ahead, I've known that Apache County has had issues with the WIOA program ever since I've been on the board. I've never had the time and ability to step out there and talk to Navajo County, other than just one supervisor one time in Sholo, Nelson Davis. I talked to him briefly. So they have issues. James has issues. That's good. I think if there's a way of taking something and backing out of an agreement and turn around where the three managers can work it out and put something back in place, I think it's a good deal. It's worth a shot. I don't know how else to put it. And so, but I want to make sure that everybody understands that all those people on that workforce board are very, very good people. And so they've worked really hard. A lot of them have been on there since Lord knows when, for quite a while. So I want to make that very well known. It's nothing, in my opinion, it is nothing about the board. It may be more circumstance than anything, and there's always room for improvement. So, but Mr. Chair, I wanted you to totally understand today that when you call for the vote, no way, shape, or form will I be adding to that vote.
Okay,
So,
that's your decision.
thank you.
Mr.
And
Chairman, can I make a comment?
you may. Go ahead, James.
To follow along Supervisor Klein. The program itself is just incredibly amazing, provides such good services, and it is a worthwhile program. Great things can happen from it. In looking at what we as a county would have to follow in a federal grant, looked up what they call a catalog of federal regulations. There is a section of that 5-6-inch notebook, that's 150 pages long, of type that is so small you have to get a magnifying glass to read it, of all the regulations of how the money can be spent. So great people that are on the workforce board, to have a lay person to understand all of that jargon and all those things, I don't believe can or should be expected of them, that they will follow general, common sense, reasonable things, and I believe that the board has done that. The workforce board has done that. So, thank you.
Okay, on the IGA, you say that it's never been signed.
Right.
So if we don't have an IGA, so why are we here today to sign that we're stepping away? If there's never been anything signed that made us part of the intergovernment agreement.
Gila County did sign that agreement back in 2016, sometime between 2014
But no one
and
else
16.
signed it.
But no one else signed it. Since we did sign it, and essentially our WIOA allocation is going to Navajo County, I believe we need to take formal action so that whatever comes in the future can be a fresh start for us.
Okay, well, yeah, one, if no one else ever signed it, I don't see the partnership in that. So my opinion off the get-go, if we're the only ones that cared enough to sign it, that's almost frustrating to me. And the fact that other counties may be benefiting from this and we are not, I find another frustration. I do believe I sat on the board for a while and I stepped off from the board. There are a lot of great people. They work really hard, but it seems to be a disconnect of their services hitting the people that need their help. As a general contractor, I told them that I would hire all my employees through them. And it never got done. And so I think it's a great program. I think there's a lot of great people involved in it. But I think there's a disconnect between the board and actual people on the ground helping people that need jobs or that need help in different employment or, as you say, training. They need to step up, and so I don't feel as if that's happening in Gila County. And I've been away from the board, so I don't know how well it's doing in other counties with other businesses in helping them obtain employees. So I can't comment on the other counties, but I don't see anything working here in Gila. There also, too, I'm not involved in the board. Supervisor Klein is if he feels that he's willing to sit on that board and try to make it better. I'm wondering if this is not a meeting that we may postpone for a little while, if that's something that he doesn't want to throw in the towel on. Like I say, if someone is willing to step in and keep trying to fix it, and it's not costing Gila County taxpayers anything. So I guess if it's working in other counties of the part of the state of Arizona, good for them. If maybe there's an opportunity for that to work in Gila County at some point in time, and Supervisor Klein is willing to go forward, I don't want to take that opportunity away from him either. So Supervisor Klein, you got some more you want to add? I know you're not going to vote, but that's fine. If you're done, that's fine.
No, Chairman, thank you. You know, I've wrestled with this for quite some time. Really, you know, I'm on this board from a business standpoint, just as you were.
Right.
That's why I'm on it. And when you really look back at the board and the vacancies that were in a lot of those seats, it was hard to find people to jump in there and be on that board. I mean, it's a commitment, and it's something that you really have to or I have to buckle down on to understand it and get it all covered. It's not that I don't, it's not that I want to see the WIOA program come apart. I do not want to see that. And James, I know you agree with me, and I'm sure you do too, Tim. But somewhere here between the three counties, it needs to be regrouped and pulled back together. And I can't speak for Apache County because, like I said, as chair, I have never been really able to sit down with them and really hear their exact concerns. I just haven't been able to. But they have them. I know they have them. And so I think, Chair, it's at a point in time which I'm encouraged by it is that if there's a way of stepping back and then moving forward with the three managers from each county, or one from each county, that will come together and redraft or redo whatever they need to on this IGA, I think it will only help. I think it would only help pull all three counties back together as a program. I would hope that would be the case. By chance, if it didn't, you've tried. That's where I would be at it. Me being the chair on this program does put me in a very bad position, because regardless of how I feel or my thoughts for the program or how things go, we all vote for what happens on this in this program. You know, it's voted on by the board. So just like we have done in the past, one of us or two of us may vote differently than the other one. That happens. That's the way it's designed. That's the way it's supposed to work. Is so everybody has a chance to put their thoughts in there and vote their conscience. And I think you know me well enough to know that I'm pretty outspoken on things when it comes to my thoughts occasionally. But and so I've done that, and you know, there's been times I get outvoted. But that's the way the state has it set up. That's the way it's supposed to work. And so as a board, we work with each other, and we keep trying to come together and try and cover all of our bases. But it is tough, and I can only respect the manager's thoughts and opinions, whether it's James or Ryan's or Glenn's, any one of the three. If they feel like something isn't working, I have total respect for that, and think it's well worth the discussion and well worth the time and effort to try and make it work.
Thank you. James, on this, they need a termination notice, a 100-day termination clause. So that could be postponed? I mean, is that's something that's got to be voted on today, or is that something that can wait 6 months or wait? So I guess that's my question.
There's, for budgeting purposes and working with the state, it is required that the termination or change be effective on June 30th. That's what that 100-day clause means. And so that 100th day is next Tuesday.
Okay, so,
That's why we held a special meeting today. If there's no action taken today, then we have to wait a year
a year.
of receiving, well, never mind.
Okay, yeah, no, right, I understand. So if we vote not to terminate today and give it a little time, energy, and effort, then this is a decision that we can make in a year, and it costs us nothing other than Supervisor Klein's time.
Mr. Chairman, I believe there is a significant cost, not in financial outlay of money to this program, but the citizens of Gila County are not getting the services that are intended. Those that need to have training to become employable, those that we need to work with to help the poor and those that cannot get a job. That's what this program does, and there is a significant cost to Gila County and our citizens to not take action.
Okay.
Can I add one more reason for this?
You may.
In the last couple of years, the Navajo County workforce staff have worked to organize and develop what they call a community center. And this community center is intended to decrease poverty in Navajo County. They have been allocated at least $400,000 of WIOA money, and there may be money from other entities that have contributed as well. But this money is being used, 400,000 of our money and Apache County's money and Navajo County's money to remodel an old school building so that a multitude of services can be provided, including health, child care, and other things that are not in the scope of the WIOA program.
Okay.
Because it's been handed over by the WIOA board to NACRN, which is the nonprofit that is overseeing this program. There's not any financial information that has been provided to Gila County and is not obtainable at this time. We know what the happenings are. Our money is going, our dollars are going to a nonprofit, and we don't know what's happening with it. I don't see that there's a contract to do this, that the contract with the local workforce board and NACRN, there is no contract that I've been able to see. There might be a memorandum of agreement, but this requires a contract where it is specified very specifically what the deliverables are that are expected in working with a nonprofit.
Okay.
And there's a lot of smoke with this. In my mind, I was
Okay.
an auditor for 11 years, audited this program a number of times. I worked with this program as finance director for 13 years and understand it pretty well. And there's a lot of smoke here.
Okay, well, I thank you very much for your input today, and I think we've all had a chance to speak. Supervisor Klein, go ahead.
So one thing that me and James probably, are a little different on, this NACRN Center has started before I was on the board. It was already in the process before I was on the board. I know that there was a lot of money brought from outside too. I wish my figures were better and I was better prepared today for whatever, but from what I remember and what I've been told was a lot of that money was other grant monies and things like that. Now, where it is exactly, but I will say that the agreement was to partner with NACRN with the 501c3 side of it, and that was allocating staff resources and time and money to that. There again, all that stuff's voted on and it's in the records and it's there, and you'll see where I didn't agree. But but the way the state's got it set up, and it's been a little bit tough that way because really you're dealing with a pretty big chunk of change that's being dealt with by a pretty good group of people to try and figure out the best ways to spend this money and whatnot, and they vote the way they feel and do what they think's right, and I respect that.
Okay.
I totally do. So anyway,
Thank you. Okay, well, I think we've all had a chance to talk, and we've had this to kind of look at, and so I think it's time I'll call for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, before you do that, is it all right if I ask a couple more questions?
You can, and then you can take over the meeting because I've got a meeting at 10:30 that I need to be at. And so if Supervisor Klein's not meeting, not going to vote, go ahead and ask your questions, but let's try to be timely, guys, because I've got about 6 people on the phone call here in about 3 minutes. So go ahead, Supervisor Christensen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My question is to James. If we terminate this agreement, will it assist helping the citizens of Gila County in the way that it was supposed to in the first place?
That is fully our intent in taking this action, that it's not acceptable and we need to move forward in a different direction.
Okay, so, and what I felt you were saying is that there's been a misuse of funds with this, because I hear that the people on the board are people. I hear the program is good, but the reason for the termination can be, is that to create leverage in your mind to them to fall in line, and can you reinstitute the agreement if we terminate it today?
As a former auditor, there are indications that there are improprieties in spending. However, I have not gotten the detailed information to confirm that.
Okay, one of the questions was, is this the purpose of this action to create leverage, or are we just wanting out of this completely?
We don't want out of it completely. We want to reorganize to ensure that Gila County is getting the services that are intended for Gila County and our citizens.
Okay, so terminating today, you feel would help in that regard?
In my opinion, it's the only action we can take to ensure that that response is received.
Okay, thank you, James.
I'll call for a motion.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm a little confused about this, but I think I would agree with possibly the philosophy. I would like to see this program continue, but perhaps withdrawing at this point would be a wise choice. So I move to withdraw the Gila County from the Northern Eastern Arizona Local Workforce Development Area Intergovernmental Agency effective June 30th, 2022, and to authorize the chairman's signature on the termination notice as per the 100-day termination clause.
I will second that motion. Having a motion a second, all in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item passed. Supervisor Christensen, Supervisor Humphrey voting in favor of termination. Supervisor Klein not voting. And I just want everybody to know that Supervisor Christensen was inpatient today over the phone, and Supervisor Klein and Humphrey are in Globe, the BOS today. So if that's all, then I will call it a meeting and. Oh. Oh, I didn't turn the page. Yes, Supervisor Christensen, I have to go, so you get to finish the rest of the agenda, and then you can close the meeting. Being your vice chair, how's that?
Thank you.
I'm going to excuse
Thank you.
myself for another meeting.
Yes. Thank you for your
Okay,
time today.
thank you.
Supervisor Christensen,
Yes, ma'am.
this is Jessica Savelli. I also am a part of that meeting as well. May I be excused?
Yes, go ahead, Jessica. Thank you for attending.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Okay. Are we ready to continue?
Yes, sir. This is Melissa, and you can skimp over agenda item number 3, consent. I forgot to remove that from the agenda. I apologize.
Okay, I can barely hear. So do we need to call for, this is Acting Chairman Christensen, do we need to look at item number 3 as a call to the public today?
Vice Chairman Christensen, you just need to say item number 4, call to the public, and then call on Payson, and then Globe.
In YouTube.
Okay. Is there anyone in the courtroom today or in the BOS room today that would like to speak from the public?
Nobody here.
Okay.
And nobody
Is there
in Globe.
anyone in Payson? Is there anyone in Payson?
There is nobody in Payson, Supervisor Christensen.
Thank you, Tyler. Is there anyone on YouTube?
Not today, Supervisor.
Okay, so if we move on to the next item, number 4, does anyone wish to make comments? County Manager, do you have any comments to be made on item 4?
Nothing today, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, James. How about you, Woody?
No, I'm good, Steve, thanks.
Okay, well, if there's nothing else, then I will adjourn the meeting.
Thank you.